Hello and welcome. Today I want to talk about my EDC survival kit that I'm putting together. I'm going to go ahead and make a kit for my specifications and needs. I just want to put a caveat out there that not every EDC survival kit is going to be the same. Your environment changes, therefore what you bring will change, and your needs might be different than mine. So take whatever I say with a grain of salt for this type of building, and definitely check out other EDC survival kits to see if those fit your needs. Hopefully this will give you an idea what you can do for your kit. I have my own personal take on it, and we'll go ahead and go over some things here. First, I made a list of the items that are in my kit just so I can keep myself organized, and you'll be able to see that in the description box of the video. I'll put it up there so you guys can check out exactly what I have in here. And we chose to use a Vanquest FTIM 6x9 Generation 2 organizer. And the first thing I did was kind of wrap this handle up, and I undid the cordage a little bit so you can kind of see how I wrapped it up on the top here. We're going to go ahead and rewrap that once we put everything into the bag. But this is about 10 feet of 375 paracord. Moving along, we'll go down through the list of items on the table and go over why I chose them. On the left here, we have a Nikkor NU17 headlight. It's a rechargeable micro USB headlight, multiple modes, red LEDs, and auxiliary high CRI LEDs. Next to it, we have a pill light. It's the I1R2 EOS from Olight. It's a rechargeable internal battery inside of it. We can recharge it with the micro USB cable. Next to it, we have the Olight Open 2. It's also a pen light combo, and we have some ink refills in there for the pen. And then below that, we have an i5T EOS. Now, these are some lights that I had lying around in extras in some of my kits, so I decided to put together another kit, and this is what I have. Moving along, we have a container with striking over matches and some cotton inside, and a little bit of electrical tape wrapped around. Now I'm looking to upgrade this with UCO stormproof matches and kind of mix and match a little bit, but I'm still waiting on those to come on in. This is just what I had at home, so I made a small match container. Moving over, we have some Vaseline soaked cotton balls in a small plastic bag, and on top of it we have a small vial of mini birthday candles, 3 of them. So we have some more for a fire, lighting element, communication element in the kit here. Next to it, we have a combo buckle Ferros Rod whistle. So it kind of fills 3 categories in one. Even though the Ferros Rod leaves a little bit to be desired, it does work decently for what it is and the size. We're trying to maximize our size ratio in this bag because we don't have a whole lot. Next to it, we have a small mini reflecting mirror from Base Glide online inside a plastic bag to protect the front of it. Bottom below or next to it, we have a Bic lighter, standard Bic lighter. Nothing much to say about it. Pretty well versed. I haven't done any wrapping of beeswax hemp cord around it for another external wick. I've done that on my several other lighters, but I haven't gotten to doing that with this lighter yet. I may not change that in the future. Below that, we have a nail clipper. Below that, we have Carmex lip balm SPF 15, and then next to that, we have a Leatherman Micra. And at the very bottom here, we have a 1-liter bag for collecting water. Moving up to the second row, I guess you could call it, we have a Mylar Space blanket. We have some small paper clips. We have different sizes of safety pins. We have some hair ties next to that I use as rubber bands. And then we have some bigger paper clips. And then we have some homemade straw containers, which I filled with 50% alcohol for this one. This one's going to be hand soap, and the other one's going to be hydrogen peroxide. On the bottom of that, we have a Hydroblue water filter. This is a 3-stage water filter, 0.1 microns. Works well with the 1-liter bag there. We have a condensed towel. When you wet it, it opens up and expands. We have a air dampened compass next to it. On the bottom here, we have a single core strand, 95 pound, 35 feet length of paracord. And then below it, we have 25 feet of no core paracord below that. So we have about 60 feet of cordage broken up into roughly 35 feet and 25 feet. Below that, we have some fishing line with some fishing hooks and sinkers in a small vial. Below that, in this kind of messy area, we have a small homemade sewing kit, which I repurposed out of an old lead pencil container. We have about 7 or 8 different types of needles in there, along with pins for holding items. We do have a canvas pin in there as well, or canvas needle rather. And part of the cap here, I wrapped it with electrical tape a little bit, so we have some electrical tape to use as well. Next to it, we have various sizes of zip ties, and then below that we have an ouchie boo boo kit. This is your standard dollar store medical kit that you can get at any kind of dollar store basically. It has a few band-aids, alcohol prep pads, and then I also customize it with 2 Advil, 2 Pepto-Bismol, 2 anti-allergy pills, and 2 anti-diarrheal pills to supplement the medical kit there. It's a very small medical kit. Next to it, we have the handkerchief, which is a multi-use item. Always put that in any of your kits that you have. Moving up to the top here, we have a comb for grooming and checking for ticks. We have 1 foot by 1 foot folded down aluminum foil for boiling potentially or signaling, a multi-use item. And again, we also have a credit card with duct tape wrapped around it, about 4 feet or 5 feet of duct tape. And below that, we have a Ziploc bag with toilet paper. And then below that, we have a Ziploc bag with a small toothbrush. And then below that, we have an empty Adventure Medical Kit's waterproof pouch, which I repurposed for this kit. Next to that, we have a couple of Welch's passion fruit powder packets to go with the water or to consume without the water. Just a little bit of energy on the go. Important to have. Next to it, we have a Renogi power bank and a charging cable for the Renogi power bank and the other lights at the top there. Moving along, we have a Leatherman skeleton tool. And below that, we have a K-Bar full tang knife dozer. And then below that, we have our hand sanitizer, which we can use as a fuel source because it has about 65% alcohol in it. And moving along to the top side here, we have our charging USB up converters from 5 volts to 12 volt DC out with different adapters for various radios that I carry on my persons and in the kit. So this is there to support my Yaesu VX7R and the Kenwood TH F6a, which is our next item here. This is a really important item. It's a tri-band radio. It does 2 meters, 1.25 meters, and 70 centimeters. And it can also have a wide band receive if you want to use it that way. Very important communication tool. It does a lower, upper, AM portions of the band. So basically lower side band, upper side band, AM. And then we also have FM, wide FM, narrow FM, and also CW modes with that radio. Meaning basically it receives from 0.1 megahertz to 1.3 gigahertz in most of those modes. So it's a very important tool for ascertaining information and gaining knowledge and communicating. So a very important survival tool. Next to it, we have a monoband 2-meter antenna, since 2 meters tends to be a good band around where I live. Again, you can substitute that out for an antenna for your needs, or I can change that out as well. Next to it, we have the solar panel part of the kit here, along with an extra filter for the Hydroblue and an extra air dampened compass to go along with the second one to get a better gradient and check to see if the compasses are working. This solar panel does 2 AA batteries. It can recharge both of those batteries, nickel metal hydride batteries, and it has a USB output on the solar panel, so you can charge the Renogi power bank, the primary power bank for recharging the lights and or my cell phone. And then we have the supporting cables that go along with it. We have a USB-C to USB-A, and then we also have a USB-A to DC plug for my Yaesu VX1R. So I typically carry on my persons a Yaesu VX7R and use a VX1R radio. So these 2 radios that I have cables for to supplement in my kit. So it's important for me to have a support element in my survival kit for the items that are on me. So pretty much that's our kit. One last item that we haven't gone over is the BNC to SO239 adapter. That's mainly for my radios if I want to connect to an external antenna to get a little bit more range, or if I can construct an antenna outside out of the pins, I can do that and make a slightly different antenna for talking on different bands. But that is the main core elements in my EDC bag. And of course, again, this is the bag we're using, the Vanquest FTIM 6x9 Generation 2 Maximizer. And we're going to go ahead and put everything in the bag and see how it looks. Okay, we've managed to fit everything into our Vanquest FTIM 6x9 Generation 2 Maximizer. In the front here in the slip pouch, we'll turn this up so you can see we have the front pouch filled to the brink. We have the medical kit inside, the Ziploc bag with the toilet paper, the toothbrush, and the 1 liter water bag in the front pouch here. On this side, we have the K-Bar Dozer full tang knife along the side here in the Molly Pals webbing, along with our hand sanitizer. And then on this side, we have the Skeletool multi-tool knife in the other Pals Molly webbing, along with the carabiner, and it attached to the carabiner, so it's kind of dummy corded to the bag so I don't lose it. And this is also dummy corded to the bottom here of the sheath, so I don't lose that knife. It's very tightly packed. On the top, we also have the paracord, which has now been tied down to the handle. Then on the back, we have nothing at the moment. So it's very tightly packed kit. I'm going to go ahead and try to open this up, and hopefully nothing falls out because it's pretty packed. All right, so here's the kit as it is. We'll just go to it real quick. We have the i5T Olight AA light with the protector cap on the front, diffuser, if you will. We have the Leather Micra, Bic lighter, Carmex, lip balm, nail clipper. We have the 3-in-1 combo buckle Ferros whistle rod. Underneath that, we have the Vaseline soaked cotton balls. And next to it, we have our Strike Anywhere matches in the customized container with cotton. Next to it, we have a Nitecore NU17 headlamp. We have the Renogi 2000 milliamp hour power bank here, along with the charging cable underneath in the webbing. Moving to the center of the bag here, if you can kind of see all this, I've got a sewing kit here, the little sewing kit that I made. We have the cordages, both the 95-pound cordages, the single cord and the non-single cord, there in that center strap. We're going to start on this side real quick. We have the Hydroblue water filter, and down in the pocket down here, there's a webbing where I put the air dampened compass in the bottom there, so it's nicely secure. On the side here, we have our custom-made straw containers, the hydrogen peroxides here. We have the soap and the 50% alcohol containers as well. Moving along this side here, we have in this webbing, we have that small towel that you wet and expands. We have some paper clips, some rubberized hair bands. We have the signaling mirror underneath this big gigantic elastic. And moving over, we have smaller paper clips. And I also forgot to mention on the side here, we also have our safety pins as well, so along this entire band. Moving over, we have the extra ink refill for the O-Pen 02, or it can be used as an extra pen. We have the USB-C charging cable. Down here, we also have another elastic with more hairband rubber ties down there. Moving over, we have the VX1R to DC input cable for my VX1R, along with the Welch's fruit packets, powder packets. Moving down to this elastic band in the corner, there's a lot of stuff going on over here. We have the SO239 to BNC connector, and then in this elastic webbing right next to the pen, we have the fishing kit with the hooks and line. In this part here of the webbing, we have the O-Pen 02 pen combo light, and then we also have our zip ties in this elastic on the edge here. So moving along to the back here, we also have our charging cables, as you can see, for the ACVX7R and also the Kenwood TH F6a. We also have a key holder area, which I've attached the lanyard to my radio to, and the i1R2 EOS mini pill light on the back here. Going underneath this pocket, the first pocket, there's a couple pockets in here too we can bury stuff in, like I did. We have the Kenwood TH F6a. I managed to actually fit it in here kind of successfully. So we got a tri-band handheld transceiver along with the container with birthday candles in it, and the monoband antenna as well that goes with the radio. Underneath that, we have the AA ULG solar panel charger, and then what you can't see underneath this orange material is the extra compass and the filter and the changing heads for the charging cable. So We have a lot of stuff packed in the first brim of that. Now underneath all this, there's another pocket just like this that has the handkerchief, the aluminum foil, 1 foot by 1 foot folded down, the extra dry bag that I have from a Adventure Medical Kits kit, and we also have the credit card with duct tape on it, a comb, and that's just about it for the kit there. And that pretty much covers the entire kit here. We're going to go ahead and try to put it back together. There's a way to do this, a method to the madness. I might rearrange some things in the bag to make it a little bit more seamless to zip this up, but seems like it went well that time, and nothing got caught. These YKK zippers are invaluable, and the stitching on this is fantastic. I really enjoy the little grab tabs here for undoing and redoing the case here. These are designed to loosen the zippers at the top, and there's a little tab that comes out, and you can kind of just tear this open in a clamshell formation without having to play with the zippers too much. It's like a tearaway bag, designed in a EMT kind of fashion, I guess you could call it, or first aid deployment. That being said, this is the main bag. I plan on putting this into another bag, which I'll show you in just a moment here. Alright, to round off this kit, I'm going to put my bag inside this Faraday NX3 bag. This is a dual metal bag. It has copper and nickel coating in a triple layered setting. It's got a Velcro attachment point for the closure, and this is a 12 by 18 bag, so it's a little bit bigger than the current bag we have. Even though our bag is somewhat packed up huge, we can see that it will fit in the bag here, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. Alright, we can see it's in the bag now, and all we got to do is just basically roll it up, and we're all set. So this is my survival kit in a EMP resistant, CME resistant bag. This bag is supposed to provide about 85 to 90 attenuation, dB attenuation, or around that much. I've tested it out with some radios of mine. The material works very well. It blocks both cell phone signals on the 700 megahertz band and also on the 146 2-meter ham radio band. And I've noticed that whenever I put my cell phone in something like this, it kills off any of the 2.4 gigahertz signals as well on the Wi-Fi part. So this material works very well. It's from FaradayDefense.com. I have a couple of these bags, and I had one of these laying around, so I figured put my EDC survival bag inside, protect all my electronics, including my ham radio and my lights and my battery chargers in the bag in case something happens. Unlikely, but it's always good to be prepared and to consider other things that could happen. Now, I might get a slightly more tailored bag for this type of survival kit, but this is what I have on hand right now. Of course, you don't need to use something like this with your survival kit. This is just something that I like using and that I plan on keeping my survival kits stored into. So that's pretty much it for the survival kit, how I built it up, and this extra EMP resistant bag is a bonus. You don't necessarily obviously need it, but this is something that I do. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and hopefully you get some ideas out of it on what to use for your kits. Again, thanks for watching, and have a good day.